Hey, John, what can you tell us about Lamar, and do you expect him to be at practice today?
Really don't have any updates on that. That's wait and see for all those guys. I mean, every single guy you're about to ask me about is all going to be day by day, and we'll just see where they're at as we go.
Yes, John Harbaugh knows that he needs to tell us absolutely nothing about Lamar Jackson's status or availability beyond the contents of the injury report. And all we know, 11 days after he suffered that sprained ankle against the Browns, did not practice, open paren, ankle, close paren. And I'm starting to get the feeling we're not going to see him again this weekend in a very important game.
I'm surprised.
In Cincinnati against the Bengals. But, you know, I said this yesterday on PFTPM. The ribs and the ankles are the kind of injuries where we've seen this trend where it's all good at first. Like there have been multiple rib injuries this year where, x-rays are negative 4 days later. Oh, he's got broken ribs. Wait. But maybe you need a better x-ray machine then. That happened like 3 or 4 times this year. And then with the ankle, it reminds me of Kyler Murray, week 8.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm good. Report over the weekend. Jay Glaze, he's going to show up at the building tomorrow and he's going to be fine. He's going to, they're going to see if he can play. Missed 3 games in 4 weeks.
Yes.
So I started to get that feeling last week with Lamar. And I look at it this way. If it's the kind of thing, look, because of the various injuries that I have inflicted in my life, just being clumsy, spraining my ankle was one of them. And I had what I thought was a bad ankle sprain playing pickup basketball in law school to the point where I was hobbling. But like after a day or two, I was fine. It was the weirdest damn thing.
Yeah.
It can. So if this thing isn't going away quickly for Lamar Jackson, it's not going away in a couple of weeks. If it didn't go away in a week, it's going to take a little bit longer than 2 or 3. That's my very high end. I'm not a doctor, never will be, have no qualification to even begin to apply for medical school, but I feel like after 20 years of covering the NFL, if he was going to come back from this thing, by now he already would have, I guess, is my point. Yeah. So I'm starting to think it's going to be Tyler Huntley again this weekend.
It does have that feeling. I mean, yeah, you're some Dr. Kevorkian, I'll give you that for sure. But yeah, but
I can assist you. I have a special for you, Chris, if you want to go that route.
Thank you very much. No, thank you. But yeah,
you're a disease, and I'm the cure.
You're the cure. There. Thank you, Dr. Kevorkian. but it is a little like I'm with you. It does seem like there's maybe a little bit more of an injury there, or his status is definitely more up in the air than I would have envisioned coming in this week. Great. We know as far as movement concerned, all of that. Yeah, it affects the ankle of a Lamar Jackson more than your normal pocket passing quarterback. But after watching last week and the way they played, I'm not concerned if he doesn't play. The Ravens can still be a pain in the butt and win the football game with Tyler Huntley. He's just a lesser version of Lamar Jackson. He did a really good job last week. Made a lot of good throws, really worked Mark Andrews, and then we saw his ability to extend plays. I mean, hey, if they're open, he'll make the throw. He will. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, wow, he's going to throw lasers and he can throw sidearm passes and do some of the stuff Lamar Jackson can. But he understands how to play the position, and he's plenty athletic. So I'm not – again, I would like Lamar Jackson to be out there for the Ravens, but I don't think it's like, oh, no, they're in deep crap and there's no way they can win this football game if Lamar Jackson doesn't play. Tyler Huntley gave me a lot of confidence what he's done the last 2 weeks.
Hey, look, I'm not going to tip my hand because I don't have a hand to tip yet as it relates to who I'm leaning toward in this game. But I just feel like, and this is understanding the Ravens, who they are, what Jon Harbaugh does, how he does it, who he is. They got their butts handed to them at home by the Bengals back in week number 7, I think it was.
Yeah.
Tyler Huntley, Lamar Jackson, I just feel like there's going to be a different Ravens team. If they're ever going to reach the higher level they need to reach to get to the playoffs this year, maybe they're just not capable. Maybe the critical mass of injuries has come and gone.
Right.
But this just feels like a week where, especially when you couple it with these up and down Bengals that are just this crazy pendulum swing where one week you think you got a team that can make it to the Super Bowl, the next week they can't tie their shoes. I just feel like there's a way that these two are going to come together this week, and the Ravens are going to get it done. The Ravens have been knocking on the door the past 3 weeks. So they've lost 3 games by a total of 4 points.
Yeah.
They're either going to completely collapse or they're going to go in there and they're going to beat the Bengals.
Yeah.
There's not going to be another close loss this weekend for the Ravens. They're either going to take this game and they're going to take it with some authority, or they're going to just get completely and totally wiped out by the Bengals.
Yeah, huge game. I mean, we know that the Bengals had their way with the Ravens. Like it wasn't like a fluke, the first time around where you went, oh man, the Ravens just did some dumb stuff. Like the Bengals made plays. That Burrow hit some big play action passes. Jamar Chase went off, and catching a slant and some other big passes that were, highlight reel type plays that week. So that's what'll be interesting. And you're right, you're going to get a pissed off Baltimore Ravens football team because they were dominated that first time, on both sides of the ball. So I don't know. Can Baltimore overcome it with all these injuries? We'll see. You're right about the Bengals. It is a little all over the place. When they play good, you go, ooh, they can be a real pain in the butt in the AFC playoffs. But, we've also seen them kind of have, again, that disease, sorry to bring up that word again, of like doing dumb crap. Whether it was, the 49ers game the week before or the Chargers game the week before that, where, there was some self-inflicted wounds there. So you don't know what you're going to get from the Bengals, but either way, a big-time matchup. Huge implications in the AFC North and in the AFC.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.